Chapter 1. Entering 17th Century London. The moment you step into London in the early 1600s, the first thing that hits you is not the sight, but the smell. The air is thick, heavy with smoke from thousands of wood and coal fires, mixed with the stench of waste, animals, and the nearby river. This is not the polished London of postcards and landmarks. This is a living, breathing city struggling to survive. The streets are narrow and uneven, paved with stones, slick from mud and filth. Rainwater has nowhere to go, so it mixes with animal droppings and household waste poured directly from windows above. People shout warnings before tossing it out, but not everyone listens. A careless step can ruin your shoes, or worse. Tall wooden houses lean dangerously toward each other, their upper floors almost touching across the street. Many are built with timber frames and plaster, making them highly flammable. That danger is ignored for now, as daily survival matters more than distant fears. Shop signs creak in the wind, hanging from iron brackets, painted with symbols instead of words, because many Londoners cannot read. The streets are crowded from sunrise to sunset. Horse-drawn carts struggle to move through the chaos, their wheels splashing through mud as drivers curse at pedestrians who refuse to move aside. Merchants shout to advertise their goods. Beggars sit against walls, wrapped in torn cloaks, holding out trembling hands. Children dart through the crowd, some playing, others working, carrying messages, selling small items, or stealing when hunger wins. As you walk deeper into the city, the noise grows louder. Bells ring constantly, from churches marking the hours, from vendors announcing fresh bread, from warnings of danger or fire. London is never truly quiet. Even at night, taverns spill light and drunken voices into the streets, while watchmen patrol with lanterns, calling out the time and the weather. Then there is the River Thames, the heart of London. It is wide, busy, and absolutely essential to the city's survival. Boats of all sizes crowd its waters, fishing vessels, cargo barges, passenger ferries. The river is a highway, a marketplace, and sadly, a dumping ground. Waste flows into it freely, turning the water dark and foul, yet people still rely on it for transport and trade. Along the riverbanks, warehouses rise beside wooden docks. Goods from across Europe arrive here: grain, wine, cloth, spices, making London one of the most important trading cities of its time. Dock workers haul heavy loads, their clothes soaked with sweat and river water, while officials watch closely, collecting taxes and enforcing the king's laws. London in the 1600s is a city of sharp contrasts. Wealth and poverty exist side by side. A well-dressed gentleman may pass a starving family without a glance. Fine carriages roll past crumbling homes. Churches stand tall, while disease hides in the shadows between them. As a visitor, you quickly realize this is not a city built for comfort. It is built for endurance. Every corner tells a story of ambition, desperation, faith, and fear. London does not welcome you gently. It challenges you to keep up, to watch your step, and to learn its rules fast. This is where our journey begins. In a city restless, dangerous, and alive, a city on the edge of greatness and disaster. Welcome to London in the 1600s. Chapter 2. Daily Life of Ordinary People. Life for ordinary people in 17th century London is shaped by routine, hardship, and constant uncertainty. From the moment the sun rises, the city wakes into motion, not because people are eager, but because survival demands it. There are no easy days in this London. Every day requires work, and often more than one kind. Most Londoners live in small, crowded homes, shared by entire families and sometimes even strangers. A single room may serve as a kitchen, bedroom, and workplace. Beds are rare and expensive. So many sleep on straw mattresses or directly on the floor. Privacy is almost unknown. Walls are thin, and the sounds of neighbors arguing, coughing, or crying pass freely through the timber frames. Food is a daily concern. Bread is the main staple, eaten at nearly every meal. When grain prices rise, hunger spreads quickly. Meat is a luxury for the poor and appears only on special occasions. Most people rely on simple meals: porridge, vegetables, cheese, and small amount of fish. Ale is safer than water and is consumed by everyone, including children, because clean drinking water is hard to find. Clothing reflects both status and survival. Ordinary men wear woolen tunics, stockings, and heavy coats, while women wear long dresses with aprons and shawls. Clothes are not changed often. They are mended repeatedly until the fabric can no longer hold together. Colors are dull, and bright clothing is usually reserved for the wealthy. In winter, the cold cuts through layers of wool, and many fall ill. Work begins early and ends late. Men labor as craftsmen, dock workers, apprentices, or servants. Women manage households, cook meals, fetch water, care for children, and often work as laundresses or sellers in markets. Children rarely experience what we would call childhood. By the age of 7 or 8, many are already working, running errands, cleaning, or apprenticed to a trade. Education is limited. Only boys from wealthier families attend schools, and even then, learning focuses on religion and basic literacy. Most people cannot read or write, relying instead on memory, spoken word, and symbols. News travels through gossip, sermons, and public announcements shouted in the streets. Health is fragile. Even a small injury can become deadly due to infection. Doctors are expensive and often ineffective, relying on bloodletting and superstition. Most people turn to home remedies, prayer, or herbal cures passed down through generations. Death is common and visible. Funerals pass through the streets regularly, reminding everyone how thin the line between life and death truly is. Despite all this, ordinary Londoners are not without joy. They laugh, sing, and find comfort in small moments: shared meals, church gatherings, and local festivals. Human resilience shines through hardship. People adapt because they must. Daily life in 1600s London is not about comfort or dreams of the future. It is about getting through the day. And yet, in that struggle, the soul of the city is formed, strong, stubborn, and unyielding. Chapter 3: Markets, Taverns, and Street Culture. The streets of 17th century London are more than just pathways. They are the city's stage. This is where life unfolds in its rawest form. From early morning, markets begin to fill with noise, movement, and the constant struggle to earn a living. There are no quiet corners here. Everything is loud, crowded, and alive. Open-air markets are scattered across the city, each one bursting with activity. Wooden stalls line the streets, covered with cloth to protect goods from rain. Vendors shout to attract customers, advertising bread, vegetables, fish, meat, and second-hand clothing. Prices change daily, depending on supply and rumor. Arguments are common, and bargaining is expected. For the poor, even a single coin matters. The smell in the markets is overwhelming. A mix of fresh produce, rotting food, animals, smoke, and unwashed bodies. Flies swarm openly, and sanitation is almost non-existent. Yet these markets are essential. They are where London eats, trades, and survives. Without them, the city would starve. As the day moves on, the focus shifts from markets to taverns. Taverns are the heart of social life in London. They exist on nearly every street, marked by painted signs swinging above the door. Inside, the air is thick with smoke and laughter. Ale flows freely, cheap and plentiful, making it the drink of choice for all classes. Taverns are places of escape. Workers gather after long days, sharing stories, complaints, and rumors. Deals are made, Friendships formed and fights started. Music fills the room. Simple tunes played on fiddles or sung loudly by drunk patrons. For a few hours, hardship is forgotten. But taverns also carry danger. Drunken brawls are common, and many end with broken bones, or worse. Pickpockets lurk in crowds, waiting for the careless. Gambling drains wages meant for food. The line between entertainment and ruin is thin. Outside, street culture thrives. Performers juggle, sing, or act out short plays to earn coins. Storytellers attract crowds with tales of crime, miracles, and distant lands. Public punishments draw the largest audiences. Thieves are whipped, criminals locked in stocks, and crowds gather not out of cruelty, but curiosity. Crime is a constant presence. London is poorly policed and justice is harsh. Night brings greater danger. Shadows hide thieves and desperate men. Watchmen patrol the streets with lanterns, but fear never fully disappears. Yet despite the chaos, these streets form the soul of London. Markets feed it. Taverns comfort it. The streets connect everyone, rich and poor, honest and criminal. This culture, rough and unforgiving, shapes the identity of the city. London in the 1600s does not hide its reality. It puts it on display, loud and unfiltered. And in these streets, the true heartbeat of the city can be felt. Chapter 4. Disease, Death, and Fear. In 17th century London, fear is not an abstract feeling, it is a daily companion. Disease moves through the city like an invisible enemy, striking without warning and sparing no one. Among all threats, none is more terrifying than the plague. The mere mention of it is enough to empty streets and silence neighborhoods. The plague does not arrive suddenly. It creeps in quietly. First, there are rumors. Someone sick in a nearby house. A family refusing to open their door. Then come the signs. Red crosses are painted on doors, marking infected homes. The words, "Lord have mercy upon us," are written beneath them. Once marked, the house is sealed. No one is allowed in or out. Inside those homes, entire families wait, often to die. The streets change when the plague spreads. Markets thin out. Taverns close early. People avoid each other, covering their faces with cloths soaked in herbs or vinegar. Doctors walk the streets wearing long coats and strange beaked masks, filled with scented plants, believing it will protect them from the poisoned air. Many trust these methods. Most are wrong. Death becomes routine. Bells ring constantly, announcing yet another passing soul. Carts roll through the streets at night, their drivers calling out for the dead. Bodies are collected, wrapped quickly, and buried in mass graves beyond the city walls. There is no time for proper funerals. Grief is rushed. Survival comes first. Sanitation makes everything worse. Waste flows openly through the streets. Rats thrive in the filth, unseen carriers of death. Clean water is scarce, and people have no understanding of germs or infection. Disease spreads faster than fear can stop it. The poor suffer the most. They cannot afford to flee the city or isolate themselves. Wealthier families escape to the countryside, leaving behind servants and laborers who have no choice but to stay. London becomes a city divided. Those who can run and those who must endure. Superstition fills the gaps where science does not exist. Many believe the plague is punishment from God. Churches fill with desperate worshippers seeking forgiveness. Others turn to charms. Prayers or false healers promising protection. Hope becomes a commodity, sold to the desperate. Even when the plague fades, its shadow remains. Survivors walk past empty homes and abandoned streets. The silence is haunting. Every cough sparks fear. Every fever feels like a death sentence. Yet London survives. Again and again, the city endures loss and rebuilds. Disease shapes its people. hardening them, teaching them caution, and reminding them how fragile life truly is. In the face of overwhelming death, Londoners do not surrender. They adapt, mourn, and continue forward. Fear rules the streets, but it never completely breaks the city. Chapter 5. Fire, Faith, and Power. In 17th century London, authority and belief shape everyday life as strongly as hunger and disease. Power flows from the crown, the church, and the law, but it is faith that binds the people together, especially in times of fear. Londoners believe deeply that their fate is guided by forces greater than themselves, and every disaster is seen as a message from above. The church stands at the center of the city's moral life. Bells call people to prayer daily, and sermons shape how Londoners understand the world. Disease, famine, and fire are often described as punishments for sin. Repentance is not just spiritual, it is survival. Churches fill during times of crisis as people seek mercy, forgiveness, and hope. The monarchy rules from a distance but remains ever-present. The king's laws control trade, crime, and punishment. Justice is harsh and public. Thieves are whipped, branded, or hanged in front of crowds meant to learn from their suffering. Fear of punishment keeps order where law enforcement cannot. Fire is a constant threat. Most buildings are made of wood, tightly packed together. Open flames are used for cooking, heating, and lighting. A single spark can destroy entire streets. Londoners know this danger well, but there are few safeguards. Fire watches patrol at night, listening for cries of alarm, but prevention is weak. Whispers of disaster spread easily. People talk of omens, strange skies, comets, or unexplained events. Many believe the city is cursed. The memory of past fires lingers, and anxiety grows with each passing year. London feels fragile, as if one disaster could push it beyond recovery. Faith and power intertwine. The church supports the crown, and the crown protects the church. Together, they maintain order in a city that constantly threatens to fall into chaos. Obedience is encouraged, rebellion punished swiftly. Yet beneath this control, tension simmers. Despite fear and authority, Londoners adapt. They rebuild after fires. They pray after plagues. They obey laws but question them quietly. Power may rule the city, but survival belongs to the people. This balance between belief and fear, control and resilience, defines London in the 1600s, a city standing on wooden foundations, guided by faith, ruled by power, and always one spark away from disaster. Chapter 6. Leaving London, a city of survival. As our journey through 17th century London comes to an end, what remains is not just an image of hardship and danger, but a powerful story of survival. London in the 1600s is not a city that offers comfort or safety. It offers something else: endurance. Every street, every home, every scar left by disease or fire tells the same story. This city refuses to disappear. Walking through London one last time, you notice how life continues despite everything. Shops reopen after plague years. Homes are rebuilt after fires. Children are born into a world of uncertainty, yet laughter still echoes through alleys and taverns. Londoners do not wait for better times. They create them from necessity. The people of this city are shaped by what they endure. Living so close to death changes how life is valued. Faith becomes stronger, community more important, and resilience a way of life. Survival is not heroic here, it is routine, and that is what makes it extraordinary. London stands at a turning point in the 1600s, though its streets are still dark and dangerous. The foundations of a future empire are quietly forming. Trade grows stronger, knowledge slowly spreads. Change, though slow and painful, is inevitable. This chaotic city will one day become one of the most powerful capitals in the world. As you step away from 17th century London, the sounds fade. The bells, the carts, the voices. What remains is respect. Respect for a city that endured plague, fire, poverty, and fear, and still moved forward. London did not just survive the 1600s, it was forged by them, and that is why its story still matters today. If you enjoyed this complete journey through 1600s London, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment which European city and era you want us to explore next. History isn't just the past, it's the story of survival.